Okay, so my name is Vanessa López-Vanegas, and today is September 24th, 2024, and tomorrow is my 20th birthday. In the past, I've made little videos like this commemorating like my last day of being 13, my last day of being 14, my last day of being 15, and I just kind of kept them as a visual auditory diary of my life during those times. And looking back, whenever I rewatch these videos, I'm always hit with a sense of nostalgia, but also kind of just a deep love for the person that I was. I see myself and how I have grown, but also how I have not changed at all. In the same way, I wanted to keep a record of my last day of being a teenager, my last day of being 19. And I want this to be very candid. I have some speaking notes, but in general, I just want to speak from my soul and how I feel. It's not that deep in a way, because at the end of the day, it's just a birthday. Yeah, I'm starting my 20s and that's a whole new decade of existence. But things are arbitrary, right? Like, what is to say that this birthday is more important than, say, from 17 to 18 or from 12 to 13? It's still just a birthday. So I'm thinking of it that way so that I don't put as much pressure on myself to sort of conform to the idea of someone who is now sprouting into their 20s. But at the same time, I do want to see the importance in it because I think that growing up is like such a thing. To put it simply, it's like such a thing. I mean, I was gonna say this later, but I might as well say it now since I'm touching up on it. When I turned 18, I had such a crisis of sorts of growing up. I became so obsessed with like little like liminal aesthetics and things. Like that was around the time that I started getting into like FNAF and like mascot horror in general. And I just kind of was fascinated by like horror related to the experience of childhood and the aesthetics of childhood, because it was like cathartic to the experience that I was going through at the time of just that in like at 18 you're basically still a child. I still think I am very childlike now turning 20, but I think because there is that expectation, like you're not a minor anymore. So I really fell into those kind of like liminal childhood aesthetics because it gave me comfort of seeing like the loss of my childhood and never being able to go back to that moment. To see it as something fictitious and to see it as something otherworldly, it was comforting in a sense. And it helped me deal with those emotions of truly leaving behind childhood and never being able to go back to that kid on the playground that I once was. In regards to leaving teenagehood behind and it being my last day of being a teenager, I have such mixed emotions. I mean, we talk about like society's hyper focus on teenagehood and the adolescent experience, whatever that is. The amount of TV shows and movies that are just focused on being a teenager and being in high school and everything. And it makes you feel like that is the apex of your lifetime. Like you're at the summit during between the ages of 13 and 19. But that is such a superficial mentality to have in every single way. And I'm sure we all feel this way because I am turning 20 tomorrow. My life is barely just starting. I have so much ahead of me. So to think that like to have the mentality to see all this media hyper focused on seeing teenagehood as the peak of existence, it can be a little difficult to stomach. It's true, you'll never be 16 again, but is that so bad? I mean, what makes being 16 better than being 26? I'm excited to be 26. I think it'll be great when I'm 26. So, because of that hyper focus on teenagehood that exists in human society, I often feel left behind from my peers. I feel like I haven't experienced enough. I don't want to compare myself because we're all on different paths of life, but it's inevitable because you're surrounded by so many people and you're going to compare yourself based on the year you were born in and the age you had to the amount of experiences and the success and the friends you have and the life that you live. It's just natural. And I'm not even saying okay, I was born in 2004, right? And I see there's a lot of new pop girls that were born in 2003 or 2002. Yes, that makes me feel a little insecure in the sense that I think I also want fame and recognition, and I also think I have a lot of things to offer. I don't know if it's going to be in the musical sense, but in art in general, as a filmmaker and everything, I think I have a lot to offer. But seeing people get famous that are around my age now, it's oh, I'm running out of time. So there's that worry. It's not that deep. It really isn't that deep, but sometimes you feel that way. So, society's focus on teenagehood. Wow. Everyone's already expected to have had so many experiences by the time that they pow into their 20s that not being one of those people sometimes makes you feel ugh. But at the same time, I feel I've also had a lot of experiences that a lot of people haven't had. I've traveled quite a bit. I have a great relationship with my friends and my family, and I have to be thankful about that too. I can't act okay, just because I haven't done this thing or that thing, then suddenly, But yeah, the incessant speed of life, man, it's just going so fast, and there's absolutely nothing we can do about it. But that's cool. I mean, I feel I got to this point pretty fast, but at the same time, I look at the gap between the person who I was when I was 10 and the person I am now, and it makes me hopeful for growing up even more, in the sense that I know that verse 20 versus 30, it's gonna be also a huge change. So I just wish I could go into the future and ask 30-year-old Vanessa where she's at and what she's achieved and all the great things she's done. But I guess I'm just gonna have to wait and see. I guess growing up, I'm not as scared as I was 2 years ago when I turned 18. Still am a little bit scared about growing up, but that's life, and I think I've made peace with that. I have a lot of expectations for my 20s. I mean, I have no idea what they're gonna look like. I wish I could predict it, but I think I'm just going to have to rely on going with the flow and experiencing life as it goes. What do I want to achieve in my 20s? Well, a lot of things. I think it depends on the area that we're talking about. In regards to school and academic success and my career, I want to obviously finish my bachelor's. I'm going to do that. I'm going to graduate in 2026. So I'll be 21 at graduation when I finish my bachelor's. And after that, I want to go straight into my master's. And then after, I want to do my PhD. Now, what do I want to do my master's and PhD in? I'm not 100% sure yet. I've been looking at a lot of options. Not sure if I want to do it explicitly in film as I'm doing my bachelor's right now. But obviously something in the world of that, in the realm of that. I know this is usually a somewhat unpopular opinion, But I just really love learning. I always have. I've always been the kid that would love to go to school just to learn, like not even to see friends or for recess or anything. I always was that kid that wanted to go to school to learn. And I don't know, that's just something about me. It's kind of endearing, I think. I think also because like moving forward, not so much when I was a kid, but like when I was a little older, when I was in like middle school, when I was like 11 or 12, I also was quite bullied. I experienced quite a bit of bullying. So I think looking forward to school as like in like an academic sense was very comforting to me. And it still is. I love learning. Even though now obviously I have great friends and obviously I'm not bullied anymore. I just still like really love learning, and I think it's like so valuable in every way. I think I also just have an innate desire to leave a legacy, and as a filmmaker, I just want to grow as an artist, as an interdisciplinary artist. I finished writing my debut album lyrically because I still need to work with a lot of people when it comes to the actual music aspect of it. I know that's very silly, but I did finish lyrically writing my debut album. And I just want to become a more interdisciplinary artist and share my experiences through my art and share what I love through my art and inspire other people. I think that's the biggest thing for me. I recently have been questioning why I am an artist and why I consider myself to be an artist, and I think at the core of it, it's definitely because I want to inspire other people. I want someday, through the films that I make and through the other work that I make, for a kid to have the same experience that I had sitting down in the movie theater as a little kid and watching pretty much anything. But I mean, my big moment was definitely Big Hero 6, which also turns 10 years this year, which is crazy. Just being a kid and seeing amazing things on the screen and amazing stories and just being blown away and feeling as if I need to be a part of this when I grow up. And I need to tell stories this way. Desperately. I remember when I was like 15 or something, I fell asleep and I was trying to fall asleep and I just kept seeing like all these worlds in my head and like these amazing, like, I don't know, just like these amazing worlds that are just filled to the brim with stories. And like the people and the characters that I was seeing walk around these worlds, I just knew that every single one of them had an incredible story and that there were so many things going on in this realm that I was imagining, and it was so distinct from the world we were in, and it was just so fascinating. And I was just so overwhelmed by this world that I couldn't fall asleep at all. And to the point where I started kind of crying in my sleep because I was worried that I'd never be able to share that world. So that was really overwhelming. And I guess I just want to inspire others. And I want to tell stories. Yeah, I think that's what I want to do. But yeah, I think that means that overall, just in my 20s, I want to leave a mark. I think that's what it is. And in my life as a future as well. And I want to grow into being a person that I want to grow into being a person that from this moment I can look onto and say, wow, you're amazing. And you truly are the person I always imagined I would become. So that's truly that. You know, I just want to run relentlessly. I want to work hard. I want to work hard to achieve my goals. I want to have a beautiful relationship with my friends and family. And I want to be happy above all. I want to be in a place where as I am right now, I want to continue being happy with what I do and continue hopefully spreading happiness to those around me as well. Genuinely. I think my artistry and the person I am, my cultural identity as a child of immigrants from Colombia, everything, I just want to keep fostering it and keep growing in that way. And that's going to be very important to me moving forward, I think. And the way I express that through art and through the way I dress and through the way I act and through the way I portray myself and through the way I interact with people, I just want everything to be coherent and everything to truly define me and who I am as a person, and to learn to define myself and who I am as a person. I think that's going to be really important to me and is still really important to me at this moment, but it's going to be even more so in my 20s, I think. Because this is a record of my teenage years, I guess I wanted to talk a little bit about what I'm like right now. I mean, I'm 19, at least for today. I think sometimes it's a little bit difficult for me to talk about what defines me, because I think I am as everyone, I'm so complex. Everyone is so complex. But what am I like right now when I'm 19? Well, I think I don't know. I mean, let's talk a little bit about myself. My MBTI is INTJ. I am a Libra. I was born in 2004, which I love my birth year very much. Don't ask why. I don't have a concrete answer, but I love the sound of my birth year. I love many things. What do I do for fun? I draw. I work out. I'm a foodie. I love going to different restaurants and trying out different foods. I love learning languages. I love going on walks, especially with my dog, Napo. I don't know. I love a lot of things. I love films, obviously, so I love watching movies. I love listening to music very much. I love music very, 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 very much, to an almost ridiculous extent. Lately, I've been listening to Lucemble's new mini album, TTYL. That's been on my mind. It's so good. It's so good. And yeah, what else have I been listening to lately? Well, I always listen to BTS, always, regardless of whether they're releasing new music or not, because they're my favorite artists of all time and my comfort artists. So I'm always going to listen to BTS regardless. Ooh, you know what came out recently that's so fun? Eusexual by FKA Twigs. That's so good. And also Tinashe's new album. That wasn't that recently. That was a month ago already. But those two releases I have had on repeat. Absolutely. And what else? You know what? I've been listening to Stromae's first album. So before he released Racine Carrée, he had this other one called Cheese that's very underrated. And I had never listened to it myself, but I obviously liked his two latter albums. I think my favorite song on Cheese right now is Je Cours. Yeah, it's a great song. It has this dun 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 dun. He does this, I don't know how to explain it, but it just sounds great, I love it. I love it. It's awesome. Scars by Young Posse. That's a really good one. I haven't really tuned in that much to 5th gen K-pop. Other than a couple select groups, I mentioned Lucemble. Obviously, I tune into Post Luna because I've loved Luna for a really long time, since pre-debut. But as in completely new 5th gen groups, not too much. I do like a lot of 4th gen groups, and I love a lot of 3rd gen groups, but 5th gen has just not been giving what it needs to give as much, in my opinion. However, I think out of what we have, I think Young Posse are very, very, very strong. And Sunhye is like genuinely a good rapper, which is incredibly rare in K-pop. But let's not turn this into a fandom video, although, I did want to say that a big part of my teenage years was fandom. I mentioned FNAF and Mascot Horror earlier, and now I'm talking about K-pop and music in general. I'm built on fandom. The very first fandom I ever was in was Vocaloid, and then I was like in different anime fandoms a little bit for some time. I was very obsessed with Madoka Magica. I still adore that show, but I'm not like in the fandom anymore. I don't even know if it's like that active anymore, but I've always been in fandom. I've been basically my whole life in the Little Big Planet fandom, pretty much my entire life. Yeah, my entire life. Eve Silva Paragorica is my favorite Little Big Planet NPC, and she is literally me. I think I need to dress up as her for Halloween one day, or I might die. It's like that, I think. And I love the LPP games, especially Little Big Planet number 2, which I am actually a little bit kind of sad lately because our PS3 stopped working, and I don't know if I'm ever going to be able to revisit all the worlds that I created and everything. But I rather not think about it because it's really sad. I'm not even going to front with you. That is very sad. But yeah, my ideal 20s: success, money, obviously, of course. I don't want to be like that, but obviously success and money, of course. But also just a great relationship with the people I love, obviously. My family is so important to me. My friends are so important to me. I love my family so much. I love my parents. I love my younger brother. I love my dog. I love my extended family too, even though I don't see them as much. I just want health and happiness for everyone. And I don't think that's a superficial thing to say. I mean, everyone says it, but I think it's very genuine. I want all of us to be successful and all of us to be happy and comfortable in our own skin. And in the context of our own lives. And speaking of which, I want to be fully confident in my own body and the person I am. I think that's important too, because I've struggled with body image in the past. So just moving forward, I just want to always be confident in the body I'm in, and I'm working towards it. I think I've improved a lot. I think in general, 95% of the time now, I feel happy with who I am and the way I present, but not just in regards to body shape and like physical appearance, like my face and everything, but also just like I think I want to experiment more with clothing and the way I express myself in that way, and in makeup as well, because I always say that if I would have had a little bit more liberty as a younger teenager, I definitely would have been more like alt. But that wasn't really an option for me. So I think moving into my 20s, I might want to explore that avenue a little bit. I feel like it could be fun, and maybe I could discover more about myself in the process. So who knows? I do want to maybe get a tattoo someday. Like that could be something. I have a huge scoliosis scar on my back from my scoliosis surgery. And I've always been curious about how I could work with that scar to like craft a very interesting tattoo. So maybe that's something I might do in my 20s. And if I don't, I'll probably do it in my 30s. I don't know how soon I'm going to get a tattoo, but it is something that I would like to do. I am interested in. So yeah, I don't know. We'll see. I do want to grow in my relationship with my religion as well. I do consider myself religious, I think. I grew up Catholic, or I'm growing up Catholic. I'm in a Catholic family. I don't know if I fully connect with the Catholic label. There is some nuances there. I think I want to grow religiously with my own personal relationship with God. yeah, my own specific relationship with God, but also, I guess, my spirituality. I think I just want to be a more spiritual person. Because I think in the past, when I've engaged in certain things, like something that brings me a lot of comfort is like the image of the rosary and feeling as if I'm blessed by the Virgin Mary. That's something that me personally brings me a lot of comfort. So maybe growing in that aspect, I think in my 20s might be a thing. So who knows? I think I just want to mature. I don't know what that looks like. I don't consider myself immature. I just think I'm on the cusp of maturing a lot more. And I'm curious to see what that would look like in me. I just want to be someone that others can look up to and that can inspire others. I think that's just who I want to be. Yeah. I don't know who I'm going to be in 10 years when I'm 29, turning 30 the next day. But hopefully I can look back at this video and just look at myself sweetly. Today I'm going to go to university. I'm going to have a good time. Going to do some work. Yesterday we had a really successful documentary shoot. So today we're going to be revising footage and looking at a couple things. Looks like I don't really have time to eat breakfast before I go and walk to my train station. So I'm probably going to grab that as soon as I land downtown. So I'm looking forward to that. Yeah. I think I just yapped a lot about different random things and never really came to any solid conclusion, but I think that's okay because I think that is kind of the person I am these days anyways. Just at 19 right now, I think I just yap a lot. I was telling my friend about this the other day. I just can't stop talking. I just can't keep my mouth shut. I just keep talking. I don't know if that's good or bad, but I just keep rambling about things. And I go on tangents so easily these days. I can start here and I end here, and it's like a whole thing. I'm doing it right now, Jesus. But I think, well, that's probably going to be one of the things about me that doesn't really change. I don't think that's a bad thing. It's okay to have a yapper. But maybe I need to work harder, I think. I need to really, really make the moves to achieve what I want to achieve. And I think I need to be happy. And I think I need to grow. And I think I need to spread positivity however I can. So I'm going to try to do that. This is my promise. So yeah.